Hey, what's up, people? Piz out here, and today I want to talk to you guys about 1998's Urban Legend. Now, this is partially going to be a review of the movie, as well as a review of this 2-disc collector's edition Blu-ray release from Scream Factory. And Urban Legend is about a killer on a college campus using popular urban legends as the framework of their murders. Now, this is a really interesting concept for a slasher movie. I can remember first hearing about Urban Legend in the late 90s and thinking, wow, this is a really interesting idea for a slasher movie. Now, at the time, I was not a huge fan of the post-Scream slasher wave. Now, and I think when a lot of people think back to horror movies, specifically slasher movies of the 90s, they think of Scream, of course, and then everything else. Even like the Scream sequels get lumped into the everything else category. They were, very trendy, very stylishly produced, very slick horror movies with a lot of fresh faces, a lot of stars from popular CW, or at the time it was the WB shows, rockin' soundtracks, not too graphic, not too gory, kinds of movies. And after seeing a lot of the post-Scream slasher flicks, both theatrical releases and direct-to-video releases, I got burned out on that kind of slasher movie really, really quickly. But when I first heard about Urban Legend, I was definitely intrigued because of the idea of a killer using urban legends as the framework of their murders. Now, personally, I've always been kind of fascinated with urban legends and how urban legends originate and how they're passed down from generation to generation, and how the story essentially stays the same, but at the same time, sort of each generation adds on to it the common fears of that time. But I've always been kind of fascinated with urban legends, and that's why I went into Urban Legend hopeful. And by the end of the movie, I remember thinking that was a really good movie, but the last 15-20 minutes of it was just completely ridiculous and silly, and if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I won't give away any spoilers here, but the identity of the killer in this movie, after you've seen how the killer is operated throughout the film, is just absolutely ridiculous. And over the years, Urban Legend is one of those movies, whether I catch it on television or every now and again, I just feel like watching it and I pull it off the shelf. For some reason, I keep coming back to this movie, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. If it's the Urban Legend serial killer motif, if it's just the style and look of the movie that attracts me, if it's the cast of characters, I'm not exactly sure what. Maybe it's all of those things combined that I would come back to this movie. And I've probably seen Urban Legend more times than I've actually seen Scream. Now, Scream, I think, is a much better film, but for some reason I kept coming back to Urban Legend over the years. And after having seen the film on this Blu-ray release, I do believe it's really all of those elements put together is the reason why I continually revisited this movie over the years, even more so than Scream or even any of its sequels, or really any other slasher film of the 90s. And I think a lot of the reason why I like this movie is because of director Jamie Blanks. Now, I didn't know this about Jamie Blanks at the time when I first watched the film, or throughout the years when I would rewatch it on television or on DVD, but Jamie Blanks is a huge horror movie fan. He's very enthusiastic about horror movies. And I think that enthusiasm and that love for horror movies really shines through, and not just in Urban Legend, but also in Valentine, which I have a very soft spot for as well. I did a review of that Scream Factory Blu-ray release not long ago. Go check it out. I'll post a link to it around here somewhere. But I think Jamie Blanks has a very keen eye for horror movies, and I really wish he would make more horror movies, because I think he has a very unique kind of style. His movies have a very unique look and feel to them that, for me, I find very, I don't know, drawn to. An Urban Legend is an exceptionally well-made film. This is a beautiful movie to look at. The cinematography is fantastic. I love the way the camera moves around in this film. I love the angles that Jamie Blanks uses to capture sequences in this film. The lighting is fantastic. I love the moody shots with the rain and the fog. And I love the location of this film as well. The college campus, it's this very gothic, almost castle-like kind of campus that just definitely adds to the atmosphere of the film. The cast from top to bottom is really good. Alicia Witt, Jared Leto, Michael Rosenbaum, Tara Reid, Rebecca Gayheart. You've got cameos from Brad Dourif and Robert Englund. Robert Englund has, I wouldn't say a cameo, but more of a supporting role in the film. So you've got a really good cast in this movie from top to bottom. The score from Christopher Young is fantastic. I think the pacing is really good. The kills in the film are very much of their time in that they're not very graphic, they're not very bloody, they're not very, it's understated kind of. There's not a whole lot of blood, there's not a whole lot of nastiness in the movie. The kills and the effects are very much, I think, of their time. As far as the murder mystery aspects of this film are concerned, as far as the whodunit in this film, the movie does a good job of throwing a lot of red herrings out there at you, which I love red herrings in this kind of movie. And then we get down to like the final 4 characters. And you're going, can't be that guy, too obvious. Can't be that character because physically it would just be impossible, and it really it can't be these 2 characters because there's just no way. So you're kind of thinking, well, either there's going to be a twist, or it's going to be the killer's obvious, or no, there's just no way they're going with that killer. No freaking way. There's just no way. And then they go with that killer, and you're going, what? How could that person have possibly pulled off all of the murders in this film? We're talking about murders that involved ostensibly very, would have taken someone with considerable strength to be able to pull off. But no, it's that character's the killer. And then the movie the last act of the movie, as it gets more and more toward the end, it just gets more and more just silly and ridiculous. But the first time around, I definitely had a problem with the last act of this movie, with the killer reveal and the sort of ending on top of an ending finale. And it didn't ruin the movie for me, but it certainly dropped a lot of points in my book that first time around I watched the movie. Now, knowing where the movie is going in its last act, I can definitely appreciate this film more for the first 2 acts and how well done those first 2 acts of the film are, and how great this film looks, and the music and the pacing and the performances and all of the above. I really like Urban Legend. I've always enjoyed this movie, aside from the first time I saw it in theaters, and I still liked it. Again, just the last act and the killer reveal kind of dragged it down a little bit, but this is a movie that over the years, whether it be on television, whether it be on DVD, I would revisit on a fairly regular basis, because there was just something about the film that drew me to it. And I think watching it on this Blu-ray release, I realized it was Jamie Blanks' enthusiasm for the horror genre shines through. It's a great looking movie. The cast is good. The music is good. The pacing is good. And again, the idea of a killer using urban legends as their framework for murder, I just think is fascinating. I like Urban Legend. If you've not seen it, I definitely recommend it. If you've not seen Urban Legend, this Blu-ray from Scream Factory would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film. If you're a fan of Urban Legend, This Blu-ray is an absolute must. This thing is loaded. This thing is so loaded, it's heavy. This thing should weigh like 50 pounds because of everything that's packed onto these two discs. This is just a really, really good release for Urban Legend. First, let's take a look at the presentation. We get a slipcase here with some new artwork for the film, which I think is really cool. Inside, on the sleeve, we have this artwork as well, but the sleeve is also reversible. I've reversed it, showing the original poster artwork for Urban Legend. As far as the picture quality and sound quality for this release are concerned, they were both fantastic. The picture quality and the sound quality were both great. I don't see on the back here any indication of a new or elaborate restoration or transfer for the film, but the movie looked great. I thought it's already a great looking movie, and then in high definition it looked even better. As far as the picture quality is concerned, I'd give it a solid 4 or 4.5 out of 5. Same for the sound quality. This movie sounded fantastic, I thought, on this release. I would give it a 4.5, maybe even a 5 out of 5 as far as the sound is concerned. The sound on this release, great. As far as the extras are concerned, on disc 1, we get 2 commentaries. One, a new commentary with director Jamie Blanks, producer Michael McDonnell, and Edgar Pablos, the director's assistant, moderated by Peter Bracke. And we get a commentary with Jamie Blanks, actor Michael Rosenbaum, and screenwriter Silvio Horta. I believe the second commentary was on the old DVD release of the film. The new commentary with Peter Bracke is absolutely fantastic. I listened to the entire thing. Very informative, very entertaining, great commentary for Urban Legend. We also get a trailer on disc 1. On disc 2, we get Urban Legacy, which is broken down into 10 chapters. The story behind Urban Legend, assembling the team, a cast of legends, there's someone in the back seat, stories from the set, campus carnage, a legendary composer, a lasting legacy, and extended interviews, parts 1 and 2. In total, nearly 4 hours. This making of Urban Legacy, nearly 4 hours in length. Anything and everything you could possibly want to know about the making of Urban Legend is on this release. It includes interviews with Peter Bracke, producer Neil Moritz, producer Gina Matthews, writer Silvio Horta, executive producer Brad Lull, director Jamie Blanks, producer Michael McDonnell, production designer Charles Breen, director of photography James Chrysanthus, editor Jay Cassidy, Alicia Witt, Rebecca Gayhart, Robert Englund, Michael Rosenbaum, Tara Reid, Loretta Devine, Danielle Harris, Natasha Gregson Wagner, and composer Christopher Young, and others. They discuss developing the screenplay, setting up the movie at Phoenix Pictures, and getting it greenlit. They discuss how Jamie Blanks won everyone over and got the gig to direct the film. They discuss putting the rest of the production team together, including the production designer, the director of photography, the editor, and so on. They discuss casting the film. The cast discuss getting cast in the film. The cast and crew discuss working with Jamie Blanks. They discuss the locations. They discuss the camaraderie the cast and crew established while making the film and share their fondest memories from the set. Christopher Young discusses getting the gig to compose the music for the film and his favorite musical cues from Urban Legend. They discuss the film's super fast post-production process, test screening the movie, the film's premiere, its success at the box office, and the film's legacy, and much more. Again, anything and everything you could possibly want to know about the making of Urban Legend is on this documentary, nearly 4 hours in length. My hat is off to Peter Bracke. He also produced the extras for Valentine. Those extras were very detailed, very informative as well. And he really outdid himself here with this documentary for Urban Legend. Again, nearly 4 freaking hours. Wow. We also get 54 minutes of behind-the-scenes footage. We get a 10-minute and 9-second archival making-of featurette. We get a deleted scene. We get TV spots and a gag reel. This is an absolutely loaded Blu-ray release for Urban Legend from Scream Factory. If you've not seen Urban Legend, again, I recommend it. This Blu-ray would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film if you are a fan of Urban Legend. you should buy this Blu-ray and add it to your collection. The picture quality and sound quality are fantastic, and the making of, again, 4 hours. Wow. Highly recommend this release, highly recommend the movie as well. Go check it out. If you've seen Urban Legend, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. If you picked up this Blu-ray release, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Join the $1 a month club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons: Kevin Smythe, Orc145626, B-Movie Mike, Robert Sobel, Turi Delamore, Stephen Flanagan, Lori Holt, Craig Farrand, Farron Sutton, Jeremiah Lambert, Grindhouse Grotto, Derek Jana, Demon Waffles, Simon Clark, Stone Gassman, Zachary Barton, Lauren Dixon, James Welch, Eli Geisler, Jeff Overing, Pete Toll, Kyle McGuire, Jay the Stingray, Andrew McDonald, Dave Barnes, Jonathan Lundy, Chris Gonzalez, Trenton Bowser, Jason Breitenbach, Brandon Bisdick, Steak Sauce, OG Myers, and Mark Striano. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.